Welcome to Scaling with Disha, the show that helps online entrepreneurs to scale their business to six figures and beyond without the hustle or the overheads. I'm your host, Disha Waddup, and I'll be here each week to remind you that you can do anything you set your mind to. Hello, gorgeous entrepreneurs, and thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Scaling with Disha. And today I'm here to talk to you about using other people's Facebook groups to make sales and grow your business. This is one of my favorite strategies. It is literally how I started and grew my business as a social media manager, and it is something that is so easy to do if you know the right strategies. So many people are posting in groups and not really knowing what to do, how to interact, how to make the most of it, and they're just posting and not getting any results. And that frustrates the hell out of me because it is such an easy and simple strategy to implement, but you'd have to know what you're doing. And it took me a few years to figure that out. If you've listened to the podcast for a while, you'll know and have heard my story before. I started my business in 2016 and finally went full-time in my business in 2018. So it took me a while to figure out the roles, the how to do this and how to really get and attract all of those clients that allowed me to double my corporate income and finally quit my job when my business was doing really well. So if you haven't listened to my story, make sure that you hit the subscribe button, go back and watch some past episodes and check it out, because it is really going to help you understand why I am so passionate about this strategy and how I know all of these things and how I've come to be today. Let's dive straight in to using other people's Facebook groups. One of the first questions that I get asked is, what Facebook groups should I be in and where should I be? And how do I find them? Well, this is a really, really key question, is to know where your ideal clients are hanging out and to know who those ideal clients are. So making sure that you've done that research piece on who your ideal clients are, finding out where they're hanging out, either by just asking them or going out and hanging out in those places and connecting with them there. Now, the funny thing is, and I will tell you a story, that a lot of my clients will come to me with issues about finding Facebook groups, and we'll go into their strategy and they say, well, I was in that Facebook group, but they whinge all the time and I wanted to find more upbeat people. One of my clients was working with women in their midlife. So we started off with Facebook groups that were menopausal Facebook groups. And she went into those Facebook groups and she said they just whinge, they're very negative and they don't want to find solutions. They don't want to find change. So we found different groups. We found empty nesting groups. We found midlife groups. We found different sorts of groups that had a different tone and a different mentality that meant the women in there were more acceptable to change. They were looking for something different rather than wallowing in their pity, which is often the way in some Facebook groups. We have to accept that and know that there are literally thousands of Facebook groups out there that you could be in, that your ideal clients are in, and connecting with them. Thousands and thousands of people, if not millions of people, are making money using these strategies. And I don't care what your business is, this is totally possible for you. So make sure that you find where your ideal clients are and go and hang out in those groups. To start with, I never recommend a posting strategy inside those groups. I just recommend being active in those groups. So connecting with people in those groups and being a human in those groups. And if you've heard me talk a few times, this is what I'm always saying, just be a human. A human in business is so much more connected and it's so much easier to relate to people than somebody who is trying to copy a system or a process and replicate somebody else's processes. Just be a human in those groups and interact with people. Yes, this takes time. And yes, it is a strategy that I teach to be inside those groups for a set amount of time and get out and move on to the next thing, because ultimately we don't want to waste all of our time on social media. We have other things to do in our business. So make sure that you are inside of these groups. If you're listening and you're thinking, I have no idea where these groups are, what groups I should be in, then I have a solution for you. Attract Dream Clients is my self-study and group program, depending on the level of service that you want. And you can come and check that out. I will pop the link down below for you to check out as well. And in Attract Dream Clients, funnily enough, we take you through this exact strategy, using other people's Facebook groups to grow and get clients. So make sure that you check that out. The link will be down below in the show notes. So finding groups. Once you have found the groups, then you need to be a human and interact in those groups. You need to be you. And ultimately, that is what is going to drive people to you. If you are you, if you know why you stand out, and this is something that I tasked one of my clients with recently, to go away and journal on why you over your competition. And when I asked her the question, she looked at me and she said, I don't know. So we went away and tasked her with writing a list of why you. What is it that makes you special over all of these other people? What is it that makes you unique and your offering unique, and what you bring to the table different to all of those other people that are out there that are offering very similar things? Because let's not beat around the bush. What makes you unique is what is going to sell your offer or program. What makes somebody else's unique is going to sell their offer and program. Now, when we look at two different offers and they're very, very similar, quite often it is the personality, the person, and their individual characteristics that are going to make the difference between if that person's going to sign up or if they're not going to sign up. So make sure that you are standing in your own power and really noticing what it is that makes you different. Now, I talk about this when we're interacting in groups because this is what's going to make you stand out. So when I was a social media manager, for example, I was inside of these groups. There are tons of social media managers inside of Facebook groups. And if you are a social media manager, then listen up, because you have to stand out. You have to stand out in any way that is unique to you. For me, when I was a social media manager, I worked with wellness entrepreneurs. I became the person to talk to as if you were a wellness entrepreneur and you wanted to start to scale your business using social media management. That was me. I was able to build a client base from referrals, from connecting inside of groups, from being the person that would be recommended, tagged in comments as the go-to for anything that has to do with wellness entrepreneurs and social media, which was fantastic. And the way that I got to that point to be the person that was recommended was constantly talking about it, constantly giving tips, constantly being there and giving advice. Anybody that was sharing in groups that had a question and they were a wellness entrepreneur and they didn't know how to do something on social media, I was there giving advice, sharing my piece of knowledge, saying, if you want to jump on a call, let me know. I have strategy calls that you can jump on with. I specifically work with with wellness entrepreneurs. Now, this is something that is going to make you stand out. When you comment on one of those posts and you say exactly what you do and how you help, rather than saying, I'll DM you, I'll message you, I can help, or something really generic, really take the time to write down exactly what you do, because it's not just that person that posted that post is going to be going through those comments. It is other people as well. So I really took the time every time I wrote a comment to spell out exactly who I worked with, how I helped them, and what I could do for that person. Because it wasn't usually the person that had asked the question, but other people inside the group that would connect with me and say, I saw your comment on this person's post and I would love to have a chat. You sound like the person I've been looking for. And that is because I didn't just say, I can help, or something really generic. You really need to get specific with those comments and how you're explaining what you do and how you work with people. And that is just interacting in the group, right? You're just interacting. You're just being a human. You're just connecting with the audience inside of that group. The next step in attracting clients using other people's Facebook groups is posting in those groups, making sure that you're posting amazing content. And I have a 5-step system of different types of content to use to post both in other people's groups and on your personal profile and inside of your Facebook group to make sure that what you are doing is really leveraging that space. So when you're posting inside of groups, you don't just want to put sales posts because people get bored of that. Nobody wants to see a sales post all the time. You want engagement posts. So things that encourage people to comment, question back, ask questions, engage. You want value posts so people can get to know you and to get to understand you, to get to learn more about you and how you are different to those other people. It's going to make a massive difference if you can share that value and stand out as that industry expert. Because quite often, and you'll notice this in the online space specifically, there are people that are always sharing their knowledge or sharing sales posts and never backing up with how an expert they are, their positioning, why they are the expert. What is it that makes them the person that knows all of these things? And that is because they don't actually know those things. And that is something that a lot of my clients miss out on when they first come to me, is that positioning piece, is knowing that they are the expert, but showing people that they are the expert. And I said this 100 times, as an entrepreneur, we have to toot our own horn. Nobody is going to toot our own horn for us. You have to go out there into the world and toot your own horn because nobody is doing that. So stand up, stand out, and say how freaking amazing you are and the knowledge that you have and why you have that knowledge. That it comes down to your positioning. And that is what you can share inside of other people's groups so that people know that you are the expert. They know that you're the person to go to when it comes to X, Y, and Z. Make sure that it's coming across in your posting schedule. Now, don't just post and ghost the group. You want to be there actively engaging and posting regularly. And when I talk about regularly, it depends on the size of the group and the type of group, how often you want to post in that group, whether that's weekly, a couple of times a week. I probably wouldn't do a post in somebody else's group daily because it's annoying, but weekly at least inside of that group to connect with that audience on a deeper level and have a rotation of posts. Inside of Attract Dream Clients, I give you a strategy to have that rotation of posts and to know where you've posted those things and what that looks like. I will pop a link down below to Attract Dream Clients and you can go and check it out and find out more about if this is the right plan and process for you to get involved in. Right now, Attract Dream Clients is open on the self-study program at $349, or you can sign up to the group program where you get group coaching as well as the self-study program. So you can chat with me personally and build your business that way as well. And we'll be launching that very soon too. So if that is something you're interested in, send me a message and I can let you know when that is available too. So once you have all of these pieces all together, you found the groups, you're interacting in them, you're posting in them. The key thing that we haven't discussed yet is your personal profile. Your personal profile is where anybody inside of these groups is going to go and be nosy. Because if you are sharing amazing content, if you are standing out and sharing and being the person of influence, people are going to want to know who you are. And people are nosy. They want to check you out. They want to make sure that you are the person that you say you are. You are the person that they should be connecting with, and find out how they can find out more about you, especially if they want to work with you. So if you've been doing all of the three things that we've just discussed, you've found the amazing groups, you've been interacting in them, and you've been posting in them, then the missing piece is your personal profile. Make sure that your personal profile is inviting to those people. Make sure it shows them and directs them where they should be going. Make sure that your personal profile is really delivering people into wherever you want them to go, whether that's your email list, your Facebook group, or your personal profile. It's incepting them and driving them to where you want them to go once they are in that nosy phase. And remember, we love the lurkers. How exciting is that? We love the lurkers because those are the people that buy from us. One of my clients recently has just signed her first ever high ticket offer, and she was buzzing. And I said, where has this client come from? She said, no idea. I friend requested her because, again, that's one of the strategies that I teach, friend requesting on your profile. She friend requested this person. At some point, they were friends, and this person sent her a message and said, I want whatever it is you're selling. I've been following you for a while. I've been reading all your posts. I've been watching your videos. I'm really interested in your offering. Please, can we jump on a call? She jumped on a call and signed up straight away. That is the power of lurkers. If all of this stuff is set up correctly, if you're in the right Facebook groups, if you're interacting in the groups regularly, if you're posting regularly, if your personal profile is also optimized, then the lurkers can enjoy all of your content and connect with you when they are ready to do so. So make sure that all of these steps are set up correctly. As I've said, we go through this in Attract Dream Clients. So do make sure that you click on the link in the show notes and come over and check out Attract Dream Clients, the amazing price for the self-study program. And if you have any questions at all, come over to Scaling with Disha, the Facebook group, and post those questions in there. I am always in the Facebook group sharing and answering questions and connecting with everybody in there. So do make sure that you head over to the Facebook group as well. Next week is so exciting because it is our 6-month anniversary of Scaling with Disha. I'm so buzzing. I cannot believe this podcast has been going for 6 months already. And wow, where has the time gone? It is so amazing. And I've got a super special guest lined up to join us for the episode because I want to blow your minds and relaunch this podcast into amazingness for 2022. So do stay tuned, click subscribe, and please, please, please leave me a review as well, because those reviews get us seen by more people. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you next week. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and I really hope that you genuinely learned something from today's episode. If you found this episode useful, then please hit the subscribe button and leave us a review. I personally read each and every one. Until next time, bye.